Welcome to Kiwi Radio. To a new era. The post-prostitute apocalypse. RIP to the mainstream channels closing down their 6 p.m. news. I forget their name because they're so irrelevant. But welcome to a new age here at Kiwiradio.nz, simulcast on upfm.co.nz, as well as our YouTube channel, youtube.com/KiwiRadio.nz. Open lines 0988985555. To get the party started, let's listen to Donald Trump's fake news rap song by High Res TV. Oh yeah, let's go. It's party time.
JP Sears, Jordan Peterson, and Ben Shapiro. They call me racist, fake news, but Kodak Mazo, I got love for my Haitians. They cool. The media full of these federal agents. Break rules. America first, these candidates hate it. And hate you. Keep it 10 toes down, stay true. Everybody, they were loving me. So the media was switching up on me. Now the young try to comfort me and get a little piece of my money. Greatest president of all time. If you think not, you mistaken. The only president I love more is them blue hunted Ben Franklin. The rappers are flexing their cars. Some are flexing their house. My toilet bowl is made of solid gold. I don't need gold in my mouth. The government is full of perverts, ignoring the Hillary servers. Did Epstein really get murdered? That was my burner. Eating Trump steak, drinking Trump water. Trump towers with Trump daughter. Trump wine, I'm a super gremlin. I don't care about that loser Eminem. Trying to do me like OJ, just know the glove that don't fit. It's about to be a cold case. No love for a snitch. They call me racist, fake news. But Kodak Mazo, I got love for my Haitians. They cool. The media full of these federal agents. Break rules. America first, these candidates hate it. And hate you. Keep it 10 toes down, stay true. Wow. We're making it out of Trump towers with this one.
Kiwi Radio, that is Trump the Don with fake news, produced by High Res TV, and welcome to the show. News Hub is no longer here in Aotearoa. How do you feel about it? Are you happy, sad, glad? Well, I'm glad there's new Kiwi music out there for your ears today. Marianne Lee, singer-songwriter from Auckland, has released a brand new track called Box in My Brain, playing that first to warm up. Here we go. Kiwiradio.nz and Up FM.
There's this box in my brain, got this lock I can't change, and it's filled with days rearranged. There's this thing in my heart, wishing we didn't fall apart. And it's filled with things I wish you'd say, but you don't. Then we go to different cities, sleep alone, and the 3 years that we built is left at home. And I hate to see you go, hurts too much to go alone. I don't wanna be somebody you used to know. Can we cool? Can we now try to live without your perfect takes me out? Try to sleep, but I don't. All I see is what I used to know, and all I do is left. In my mind, we're 16.
Welcome all to Kiwi Radio. Kiwiradio.nz, where we play local tunes and talk about stuff on a local level. Marianne Lee there with a brand new track called Box in My Brain. Hello to Cam Brown there in the chat asking if we are in New Zealand. The answer to that is yes. It's in the name. It's so transparent. Kiwi Radio. We are from Aotearoa. Welcome, kia ora, to the what I'm calling the post-prostitute apocalypse in New Zealand. The News Hub brand is closing down, thanks to the owner of Warner Brothers Discovery announcing earlier that it is reducing the news footprint here in New Zealand, saying it was a combination of very strong economic headwinds both in New Zealand and the global market. Blee, blee, blee. From one owner to another. Once a brand starts tanking and there's no trust in that brand, it gets renewed, and because the public has the, attention span of a goldfish thanks to social media apps and everything, 6 seconds, they'll forget about it. Much like, when Telecom rebranded to Spark or Vodafone rebranded to One. Remember all the bad press that was happening with Vodafone? No, we're not Vodafone, we're One. So there we go. That kind of jazz too. And it's called New Zealand, not Aotearoa. Yeah, I have a thing with, like, I get it. They want a local language here in New Zealand called Maori, and everything's being te reo, even from, like I see it, from early childhood to primary and everything. That's all great in that, but don't you think that it's just a homogenization of cultures? Instead of celebrating differences, you become one voice, one puppet. Oh, where do they do that kind of thing? Oh, that's right, North Korea. Anyways, how you all doing? If you want to listen to some music, especially if it is from New Zealand, well, give us a call first of all if you want to have a chat. 09889 555. That's 09889 555. And we'd love to know who are your favorite Kiwi artists right now. And it's good to kind of mix music with banter, as they say, because that's how we rock and roll here at Kiwi Radio. We like to give you a bit of fun here at the station. Sleepy Kid is next, also known as Johnny Barker. His solo project is called Sleepy Kid. This is a 15-year-old track, and it's still so good. Little Box is the name of the tune. You're tuned into Kiwiradio.nz. If the audio cuts out or anything on our simulcasted streams, head over there, or also upfm.co.nz, simulcasting us right now. Back after this track. Radio. I am proud to be a New Zealander in 2024. I mean, just listen to that amazing song right there by multi-talented Johnny Barker. He's a musician, he's a director, a hat of all trades. Little Box, 15-year-old track right there. A bit of a classic these days. Call in 0988898555 if you want to have a bit of a chat, especially if you've got a New Zealand song in mind that you'd like to share to our audience. Meanwhile, while we're waiting for phone calls on 0988898555, I thought I would firstly acknowledge the people in the chat room right now. Cam Brown, thank you so much for joining us here, and DK Spiracy, hope to hear from you from calling in. You're welcome to do so like you did last time. And anyone else out there, 0988898555. Cam is saying in the chat, you should be proud to be a New Zealander. Look at the rest of the world. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? All the moving parts seem to be the tentacles of the same octopus tentacle, isn't it? Whether it's NATO or WFO, whatever the acronyms are, I forget. And if I do get the right acronyms anyways, what YouTube tends to do is shut down the videos. Isn't that fun when you spend all this time creating content and it just goes bye-bye? But if you want all our, uncensored clips and everything, head over to the MP3 archive at Kiwi Radio and donate $2 a month if you want. Keeps the servers alive and our independence strong. It keeps the megaphones chattering on, especially good music. Because, have you ever listened to Lamestream, Prestige Media, just playing the same tracks all over again? I remember when I used to work in an FM station, all our music would be prepped, all our news would be prepped. We were literally just reading off scripts. It was kind of dull, which is why a lot of independent DJs seem to have gone online. Like, look at MediaMonarchy.com. The guy there used to work for FM, and he's got his own station now and everything. So anyways, so that we can get some content in today's discussion for the next hour, I thought I'd play a little video that I found on a YouTube channel called How Money Works. This channel is so gold. It keeps dishing out some good information, including one about the homeless industrial complex. So have a listen to this. We are audio only at the moment, and that would be great if you join in the conversation on 0988898555. But I'll get the audio started right now while we wait for calls if we get any. Let's go with the homeless industrial complex, and there is a reason why I'll be playing this, and I'll turn it back to sort of New Zealand economics afterwards. It's about a 13-minute clip. Hope you enjoy, and call 0988898555.
Are spending billions of dollars on failing projects to try and solve this problem, which has attracted a growing list of companies happy to provide their services. America has a homelessness crisis as record numbers of people are on the streets in a few concentrated city centers. Cities are spending billions of dollars on failing projects and solve this problem, which has attracted a growing list of companies happy to provide their services for a price. Helping the homeless has become a lucrative business, with multi-million-dollar government contracts awarded every day. But if there's so much money to be made, do these companies really want a long-term fix?
Over how much Austin's new homeless shelter is
now
going
to hundreds of homeless families being housed in hotels across the state because there's no more room left in emergency shelters.
49 apartments for the homeless, built at a whopping $739,000 a unit.
According to a report by the consulting firm McKinsey & Co., the annual budget for the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority rose from $63 million in 2015 to $808 million in 2022, a 1,300% increase in just 7 years. And what did the hardworking taxpayers of Los Angeles get for their money? The number of homeless people went up by 56%. Ignoring for the moment that everybody deserves the right to affordable, comfortable shelter, there is something not quite adding up here. A closer look at individual programs like the Inside Safe Homelessness Reduction Policy doesn't make it much better. The idea of this program was to have social workers offer hotel rooms to homeless individuals while they sought out longer-term housing arrangements. Data collected by the city and compiled by local news outlet The Center Square found that the plan had cost $250 million over just 1 year. The program only served 1,463 individuals, which works out to be $17,000 per individual per month. That is over $200,000 every year being spent on one individual in one program in just one city in America. So where the is all this money going? And at what point would it be easier to give homeless people checks for 3 times the national salary? Well, there are 3 reasons why cities across America and the rest of the world are spending more money than ever on this problem while not making it any better. The first reason is the broken structure trying to fix a difficult problem. Hanlon's razor is an adage that says you should never attribute malice to what is adequately explained by stupidity. With so much taxpayer money funding failed programs, you might think of evil corporations profiting off the misery of society's most vulnerable. But that isn't the biggest problem. Most people involved in homeless relief efforts are making below average incomes and are really trying to make a difference. Most of them, not all of them. But you will see that later. The homeless industrial complex is actually a combination of bad management structures, bad incentives, and bad market conditions. Tim Campbell is a journalist and public auditor who wrote an article about the organizations involved in this industry and the failures of their process. The Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority is a joint powers authority that gets funding from federal, state, county, and city budgets, but it doesn't actually do any of the work itself. According to the authority's own website, the LAHSA offers funding, program design, outcomes assessment, and technical assistance to more than 100 nonprofit partner agencies that assist people in experiencing homelessness achieve independence and stability in permanent housing. So they are a middleman between funding and over 100 nonprofits. They give the money to these organizations to achieve goals, like offering hotel rooms to people until they can get back on their feet, and then assess the performance after a project has been finished to determine if it was successful or not. With so many organizations all doing different things, proper oversight is very difficult. In the 2022-2020,
And that's, 3.5 minutes in. But why I'm playing this video is literally, do you find that government contracts, they find kind of like it's a good way to funnel the pockets and families of those people heading those projects? I mean, I remember when I used to work for my very first public sector job, the number of people that kind of did absolutely nothing. They call it like pen pushers, right? They don't, it's those people think of a company and it's the ones that, organize culture events and things like that just to make them sound like a legitimate company. It's that kind of vibe, right? It's just filling the family's pockets of those contractors as such. And I was surprised at how many contractors were involved in any sort of project led by government. But do you remember I want to talk about how the government announced last year the 35 billion mega plan for new Auckland Harbour crossing? That's great. Looks great on paper. Yeah, we definitely need a second harbour crossing because there's just so much congestion happening. I mean, it's just stressful trying to get from one place to another, to be perfectly honest, in Auckland. So it's kind of going to be, if you're in Auckland, the bridge is going to be going from sort of like Stanmore Bay, Devonport area into Auckland CBD. But yeah, 35 billion for that. But who knows? It's going to take a long time and it's probably going to be pretty shit, to be honest, if I'm going to be perfectly honest here. Trying to give you some talking points. A reason for you to call in 0988985555. We are mixing music with current events at a local level here in New Zealand. So if you want to give me a call, that's 0988985555. Cam is in the chat there, being very, very proactive. Haven't actually seen you around the channel here, Cam, so maybe you can be a first-time caller like DK did last week. And DK, you're more than welcome to call back as well. We had the wonderful Vinny Eastwood call in last week, which was great for all the super fans out there. It's been great that he's been, sort of letting us know, letting his audience know about our little station. And, it's kind of cool that the community is strong here. So anyways, 0988985555. Cam's in the chat saying, I wear a turban on my head. That makes me a good person. Just ignore all the crime. You don't, you're racist. Yeah, race wars. I've seen it here before. I'm not going to enter into that because I used to, serve the Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation when I was at a waitering agency in the UK and saw some really behind the scenes stuff, Agenda 21, like that kind of jazz, we'd be serving them wine and their drunken power. But I remember a couple of banksters I was serving, and they were, telling the round table to prepare a nation for war, you must first instill in everyday life hatred, fear, racism, and divide. Which is why I don't really enter the racism, chat room. Yeah, no, not for me. But hey, if you want to be the first racist caller, give us a call 9889 I'm only here for the next half hour or so. Super Turtle is the next track. That was just released, actually. Super Turtle are Darren McShane, Dean Kalman, and James Still, recorded at their local Earwig studios. Now, Darren's been really proactive and giving me some exclusive tracks, so I really appreciate that, Darren, if you're ever listening to this on replay. The track I'm going to play for you now is They're Gonna Give You a Number by Super Turtle, playing here on Kiwiradio.nz. Don't go anywhere.
They're gonna give you a number. They're gonna give you a number.
Everybody knows they're gonna get some part of your life. Everybody knows they're gonna get control of your life.
They're gonna give you a number.
Everybody knows they're gonna get some part of your life. Everybody knows they're gonna get control of your life. Too slow, you're never gonna know your number 63705. Too slow, you're never gonna know they're gonna get control of your life. They're gonna get it now, right from the start. Right from the start. Right from the start. They're gonna get it now, right from the start. Right from the start. Right from the start. They're gonna get it now.
They're gonna
Everybody knows they're gonna get some part of your life. Everybody knows they're gonna get control of your life. Too slow, you're never gonna know your number 63705. Too slow, you're never gonna grow. They're gonna get control of your life. They're gonna get it now, right from the start. Right from the start. Right from the start. They're gonna get it now, right from the start. Right from the start. Right from the start. They're gonna get it now.
They're gonna give you a number. They're gonna give you a number.
Gonna open lines shortly.
They're gonna give you a number.
Kiwiradio.nz. That is the wonderful local band Super Turtle. They're going to give you a number. They regularly play at like this Mount Eden pub somewhere. So go check them out if you're ever in Mount Eden. And I'm sorry I couldn't quite get that phone line open. It sometimes happens when you're trying to stream on other people's platforms. But I'm about to give you a number right now, which I'll open the lines on 09 889 8555. So the person that called in just earlier, feel free to give us a call again. Hopefully we can line that up properly this time round. That's 09 889 8555. So while we're waiting for the phone lines to open, I'm just going to, read your chats there. So let's have a look. Cam is saying, no, Big Rob. Hello. Welcome, Big Rob. Big Rob is saying he thinks that infrastructure in this country is declining. Cam is saying, don't blame the leaders. It's in the shadow. Government fucking us over. DK saying infrastructure isn't just declining, it's being shut down. Okay, so I'll tell you a little secret when I used to do transportation projects for my private sector funding. They're currently planning, like I don't work for them anymore, but they're currently planning ways to handle big events and how to kind of mitigate traffic in a sense. I think something's happening very soon, to be honest. Like, do you remember post pandemic? We started getting all these rain alerts and alerts on our phones saying it's raining and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that never used to happen before. So they've obviously tested the systems, probably downloaded a payload to all our phones for all we know. And yeah, it's just actually amazing. If you're ever like catching any sort of service, shall we say, from the government, how much analytics being gathered from you, that kind of thing. It's just, yeah. Anyways, you know what I'm talking about. 0988985555 if you want to. Well, here we go. Call in right now. Hopefully I can get this right this time round. You turn into
I think something's happening.
Hey man, how's it?
Hey mate, if you could turn down the replay at the back there.
Yeah, I got him. Yeah, got him.
Welcome to Kiwi Radio. Thanks for your call. And I was a little bit panicky there, having no callers for the hour. But welcome to the show.
I was trying to ring you about a quarter of an hour ago, and like, someone else rang me just before I rang you. I was like, damn it.
That's all good. That sounds like the soothing sounds of DK.
Yep, it is. It is DK Conspiracy here again.
Now, DK, DK has been dubbed the most censored streamer in New Zealand and is a regular contributor of the VinnyEastwoodshow.com, as well as here at Kiwiradio.nz. It's always great to kind of hear your perspective on things. You kind of insert little seeds in my brain that I never kind of thought about. So welcome to the show. Great to hear from you again. Tell us what's on your mind.
Something that was getting mentioned in the chat that you like sort of carried on when you read it out as well, like the infrastructure, like Big Rob saying the infrastructure in this country is declining, and then my reply was like, it's not just declining, it's being shut down. And like you were mentioning, like when you're driving and things like that as well, like what you see and stuff. Well, the two major things that have shut down is like the Marsden oil refinery, which also not only did it refine oil and things, so like we could actually refine our own oil, and the stuff that was getting imported that is like low grade, we could actually refine it so it didn't screw everyone's cars up. But as a byproduct of that, we had some of the world's best quality bitumen, which was what we used to fix roads with. Now we import cheap, shitty bitumen that doesn't fix roads for more than a couple of weeks, and everything falls apart again. Then there's also the Tiwai aluminium smelter that's been shut down as well, and I believe they're shutting down some steel mills or something up north as well. So they're actually completely trying to shut down our infrastructure.
Yeah, so what I gathered, my background is, you know those GPS tracking devices you get on trucks and things like that? So I used to work for a company that did that. It's called Telematics Industry.
Okay.
And first of all, I just want to reiterate and again remind people how many things are being collected. Information is the new gold. Okay. So regardless if you say, you know how if you're catching public transport and it's cashless, okay, everything, all transactions can be tracked, that kind of thing. So that just gives you an idea, right? But also, those poor drivers in New Zealand, what I was seeing while I was in the industry, it's technology like all-seeing cameras. So all-seeing cameras are basically pointed in the cab, and it can detect emotion. Yeah. Okay, so great on paper, it sounds great. You know, like if someone's dozing off, the seat vibrates, and off you go. But the thing is, and what I've learned from these contractors, and unfortunately there are a lot of contractors and sort of government roles, is if once you're no longer useful, they kind of outsource again and reward the next contract to the lowest bidder, right? And a lot of the times, say so. Infrastructure is actually a really great topic because I'm really passionate about it. So let's stay on that. So let's talk about infrastructure then. So I was talking about Auckland Harbour Bridge earlier, $35 billion investment to put in a new bridge. On paper, it sounds great, but then have you heard of debt trap diplomacy? It's happened in other countries before, where you get, let's just, without pointing at any countries, you get offshore labor coming in, building these contracts, right? Kind of half-ish doing it so that they're feeding their families and that kind of thing. As you were saying, using really crap material. I think that's all by design, and that's just my opinion. What do you think about that?
Well, especially if they're going to shut down everything in our country. Well, we can use our country as an example. They shut down everything here and we can't actually produce anything ourselves. We have to import stuff from overseas. And if it's the government doing it, of course they're going to go with the lowest bid, which means the cheapest, crappiest quality. So they go for the cheapest crap, import that, and it doesn't work, breaks down in no time, and they have to do it all over again. Well, they turn around and say, sorry, we can't afford to keep doing it. I mean, it's actually getting to that point. Like, oh, yeah, we can't afford to keep fixing the roads.
It's the same play, like I always say that every major war is a banker's war, because it's a win-win situation. You get the destruction, you get the rebuild, so the contractors win-win. And I just think,
and they fund both sides.
Yeah, and I think
they leaned out to both sides of the war, so shit, they can't lose.
And the other thing as well, and I hear them from a lot of businessmen at the moment, and I'm in touch with a couple of both independent and major, heads of major companies. There's this term at the moment in the business realm saying stay alive till 25, and that's sort of like a 12-month projection. A lot of CEOs are contractors themselves. I think it's kind of like A, race to the bottom, B, debt trap diplomacy. So if you can't pay us back for your raw materials, we'll just, claim your port. And that's happened everywhere, essentially. There's that playbook as well. And absolutely, I just think that they're just cushioning their own nests. So what do you think about that? Talk more about Marsden as well, because you seem to be very in the know about that.
I'm not in the know as much as I should be. I was paying a bit of attention a while back, but I haven't been as much as I should. Carl Barclays was trying to get people to buy like 100 shares each at $1 a share, and trying to get as many people as possible to buy shares so that the people would actually be the main shareholders and have some say in it. So he was working on that way to actually try and get it back up and running. I have heard, I could be wrong, I did hear that he got arrested like last weekend or something. I haven't heard anything else about it, so I'm not sure.
Well, I feel like we're entering a new realm with News Hub closing down. I mean, a lot of people still rely on that information. If you're looking for an alternative, if you're looking
I'm so glad they got shut down.
Me too.
They did a story on me that they didn't use my name, and it was just based on something that I said while I was drunk on Telegram.
Wait, what? They did a story on you?
Yeah, they did a story on something I said on Telegram. They left out my name because I was using DK-spiracy and it was on Telegram. So they couldn't use DK-spiracy in their story, but they wrote down pretty much everything that I'd said and made that a whole news story. And what I'd said was only like 2 sentences long, sort of thing. There was there was a women and girls only swim day. In the Christchurch Times or Herald or whichever newspaper it was, Press or some shit, one of those crap publications, they had a big full-page ad advertising Women and Girls Only Swim Day, and then it said in big letters, transvestites welcome, or transgender welcome or some shit. So I was bitching about that on Telegram. I said, oh, screw it, I'm going to go down and start recording. Hey, I'm just going to go and see if I can antagonize people until they push me or hit me or something, and then I'm just going to kick them in the balls and knock them the fuck out. So I said that on Telegram, and they wrote a whole news article saying this. The trans community put out a warning saying don't go, there's threats of violence and shit. I got warned not to go or I was going to get arrested. And a couple of my mates drove past and took photos and short videos just driving past the swimming pool. And there was cops everywhere, security everywhere. They had like that orange tape all the way straight up to the door and shit, so you could only walk straight down this path past them all. It was like, holy shit. But the trans community did put out a warning saying don't go. So I sort of achieved my goal anyway of stopping them going. They gave it more publicity and stopped them all going anyway. I didn't even have to turn up and it stopped them all.
Well, I'm sorry that happened to you, DK, but I do have two comments on that. So firstly, I often wonder how many of the hit pieces being created now are either using automation or partial AI. I've seen it happen with other journalists as well. The reason why I think it's AI is it seems like the same mouthpiece talking points are like very similar. You know, have you ever seen that YouTube video where like they put it in a song and all the newsrooms are saying the same thing, like in cohesion? That kind of thing. Have you seen that? Yeah. So that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so obviously, if they
I've seen
dislike
a few
someone,
of them actually. Yeah, there's more than one.
So okay, they don't like what DK is saying in Telegram. Cool, we'll just use it. You know, it's the tall poppy syndrome, right? If you ever get too big, and I suspect that this will happen with me as the new Freedom DJ as well, that hit pieces will start coming on. It happened with Billy TK last election, with Vinny Eastwood as well. They got too big, and so they'll either crush you with some sort of warfare, economic or whatever. So there's that. That's the first thought that comes in mind is, don't take it personally because it's probably done by one person using the help of AI. So fair enough. And two,
it was one of my mates looked into him. I can't remember his name now, but one of my mates looked into who the reporter was, or journalist or whatever he calls himself. And he was like, it was some brand new. It was like one of his first stories he'd ever written too.
Yeah, fair enough. And you got to remember, so I know this is a fact because I used to work at an FM station. I was their post-production guy because audio engineer. So I was doing their, jingles and so forth. But we always get fed the news, like what to say at the, 4 p.m. drive. This is what you say. These are the things you talk about. So there was never room. And especially the bigger you get as an FM station, of course, you gotta stick with government regulations, right? So you can't,
and you got to do what the advertisers want.
Yeah, or otherwise you don't get the next round of funding. And again, press is no different than any other contractor, sort of rolling contractor of any other sort of agency, whether it's transportation, building bridges, or in this case, rewiring mines. It's no different. It's just another octopus arm of the bigger picture. But the other thing I noticed as well, and I just love how News Hub has actually closed down, but there's no actual like real boots on the ground journalism, right? A lot of journalists use, for example, they would use Twitter, right? They just, subscribe to a whole bunch of things. I call it lazy journalism, right? And they'll be like, oh my goodness, hearsay. This is what this person said. And oh, look, Trump posted this. And it's like, that's the news. And it's like, are you kidding? So that's the 2-point thing I wanted to come across is, firstly, don't take it personally. And second of all, it's almost like we are the new journalists right now, but with less of a paycheck. But that's
100%. Yeah, 100%. We are the new journalists.
Yeah, so there's that too. And of course, if you are new to Kiwiradio.nz, we like to promote local music as well. So if you've got any recommendations, give us a call on that matter. Well, anyways, we're closing off on the hour because I want to kind of stick to the hour format and not bore everyone too much. Was there anything else, DK? Maybe you can call in again next time or something?
Yeah, no, sweet as. Yeah, I'll just call back in next time, but no problem.
Yeah, buddy. So how do you like this sort of new idea? Because I thought, Vinny Eastwood, he's a good guy. He's been doing it for years. He's got a bit of a following. And I was listening to one of his podcasts and I noticed that he went on a particular show and then his viewership increased. So the fact that I'm piggybacking off Vinny's success goes to show that A, I'm a bit of a fanboy, and B, why not, right? It actually broadens our community. The very little community that we do have. So this is second time now from DK.
Fully.
So, that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Well, that's it. It's like, yeah, we have to keep building on like the relationships we make with everyone else who's trying to do things and still try and reach more people as well.
And
So
not
the more
only
we
that,
work together, the more it brings.
we got to do the opposite of what we're kind of led to do, problem reaction solution. Like, you remember how, Auntie Jacinda, I call her Auntie because, she's my aunt.
Yeah.
She tells me what to do, much like Daddy National right now. Like they kind of tell you, don't do this, don't talk to your neighbors. They might be naughty, so kind of do the opposite.
Yeah. Even if you see them in a supermarket, don't go and talk to them. Don't talk to your friends at the supermarket. Like, what the?
Here's an idea, guys.
Yeah.
If there's anyone out there that has a t-shirt company, maybe start doing some freedom t-shirts because it's like a walking billboard. So that's food for thought. I'm actually segueing to the next Kiwi artist track called T-shirt by Jenny Smith. So that's why I mentioned that. But yeah, if you know anyone with a t-shirt company, why not walking billboards, right? So any final words for this week?
No, much love, no fear, everyone. Just keep doing it.
Awesome. And good vibes too as well, because with all the stress in that, I feel like music is kind of like the pressure valve. It's a release, and that's what we like to do on the show.
Yeah.
So we're going to head back to some more music for you, just to keep you in the fighting mood. Okay, there? Awesome. Good to hear from you, DK. Man. Much respect.
Hey, bud. Catch up.
That's DK Spiracy there on the chat. We always open lines here on 09889 8555. And if you tune in locally as well, Tuesdays, 7 p.m. New Zealand time is our local show where we plug New Zealand music. Jenny Smith was actually a recent guest on our podcast. And that's why I love having Kiwiradio.nz, because you get all the Gen Zs listening in, and then every now and then you get this type of broadcast. I'll be reading out your chats in a moment, but let's get straight back to the music. Local artist Jenny Smith actually performed in the studio recently as well, so you could head over to our YouTube channel for that video at Kiwiradio.nz on YouTube. Jenny Smith playing on Kiwiradio.nz, track called T-shirt. There's a little snippet of Jenny Smith. Won't play the full track because we are closing the hour now. It is just 11 a.m. on Monday, 8th July 2024. If you're listening to this on replay, you can find more archives at Kiwiradio.nz. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Sorry I didn't get through all your chats. As for when we will be going live, it's a little bit of an ad hoc when I decide to go live after Vinny, but you definitely can check out thevinnyeastwoodshow.com. He's been doing it every Monday at 9 a.m. and just keep an eye out for me. I might just do the guerrilla tactic on his chat room and let you know if I'm ever going live. Otherwise, if you want to catch me on a regular basis, it is Tuesdays, 7 p.m. New Zealand time. Coming up on the show in about a fortnight, we'll be interviewing a wonderful journalist. Not journalist. Slip of the tongue. Author. Yeah, wonderful author. And so that she will be coming on in the show. If you want full schedule, head over to Kiwiradio.nz. I want to thank upfm.co.nz for simulcasting us today and all our friends there on the video chats. Going to be signing off right now, so thank you very much. We hope you enjoy your day, and we've brought a bit of colour in terms of wonderful music for you this week. I want to thank DK for calling in as well. Till next time, everybody, have a good week. Stay cool, stay creative.